So please join me in welcoming Rich Strader, the CIO of Volvo, David Holicek, the director of Volvo involved in interactive marketing, and Eva-Karin Dahl, the COO of Elite Hotels. Welcome them on stage, please.
Hi, Steve. Pleasure.
Hi, Steve. Rich. Nice to meet you.
Hello. Nice to meet you.
Please, come on. Easier. Oh, okay. Somebody rehearsed the protocol with you guys and not with me. My screw up. All of these folks have had some real experience doing work in the cloud and thinking through those scenarios. And I thought what we'd do is I'll throw some questions out, and then you guys can go wherever you want in terms of commentary. We'll see where we go. But we'll start with Rich Strader. Volvo's been a user of some cloud services. And Rich, maybe I'll just ask you to fill people in. What kind of benefits do you see short and long term in the cloud?
Okay. Well, first, I think the thing is we're going to be moving, we're in the process of moving away from the previous owner, which is Ford, into a new ownership relationship, and we have to replace all of our collaboration tools. So we're going to go to Microsoft for that service. We're using your BPOS offering. And I think the benefit we see, that's just one example of where we think we'll go, but I think the benefit that you see in the cloud is we're really a car company, so we're different than Microsoft in that we don't have, software as our primary business. Our primary business is building premium vehicles and selling them in the market. And we want to focus our attention on that, right? So to us, we think the cloud offers a way to get services that are very attractive to us that we would otherwise have to build ourselves. And by not building them ourselves, we can take the IT resources we have and put them on things that are, differentiators for Volvo Car Corporation. So that's the big one. Another one is that it's instantly global, right? So any of our offices, any of our growth, any of our expansion can immediately take advantage of the cloud. We don't have to wait for us to build infrastructure or to pipe it into a local area. We can just start using it. And I think, as you mentioned before, the idea that it's going to continually improve over time, right? We'll see more and more coming our way, and we can just take advantage of that.
Super. And let me ask you, why Microsoft? Why our business productivity services?
Well, I mean, we shopped around and looked at, who had other offerings, right? And we really felt like you are the clear leader in the industry when it comes to collaboration tools. And this service seemed to have everything, as you mentioned. We will get the redundancy built in. We don't have to do that ourselves. We can rely on you and your folks to do that. We feel really comfortable that, we have. We feel very comfortable that you have the capabilities in your organization to do that. The other thing is that when we looked at what it will take to go from where we are to where we're going to be, you had a clear path for migration. So you actually have done this many other times and could sort of lead us down that path to make sure we don't make a difficult mistake. And you mentioned before, I mean, the good news is you're with us to help provide support, and that's really good because, when you worry when you put it on your wife's PC, I have to worry when we put it on our CEO's PC.
Yes, sir. And you see a lot more in the cloud in your future?
Yeah, I think as I mentioned, we see it's going to continually evolve, and we see more services that we're likely to use, coming about, right? We're just starting right now with collaboration, but we certainly see many of the other business productivity offerings there. And as you mentioned, over time, there's likely to be more specific applications in the automotive space that we can take advantage of. So we do believe that that will be the right thing to do for us in the long run.
Great, great. David? Let's talk a little bit about what you've done on the customer-facing side at Volvo.
Let's do that, but let's start with a small little video. So please, on screen.
Because the film is about Bella's choice, we devised a complex maze of forks, allowing fans to literally step inside the story and choose their own fate. The aim was simple: find the shortest way to the Cullen house. But with thousands of possibilities, solving it would be anything but. It wasn't long before players became well and truly lost. What began as a game was quickly becoming an obsession. After just 2 weeks, the site had been visited by 563,000 people, spending an average of 30 minutes on the site.
Thank you.
Good job. Doing the global digital launch of a new car. Tell us a little bit about that. Why? How did it work for you?
Well, Steve, you may have heard about the small little movie series called The Twilight Saga, or at least I'm sure your kids have. So, I mean, we were fortunate enough to be featured in the original books, so therefore it was quite natural for us, and we're very happy to participate in the movies as well. So we used the latest installment of the series, the Eclipse movie, to continue the launch of our highly successful Volvo XC60. We did this by creating a rich and immersive game experience where people could sort of search through a virtual representation of the Twilight world, looking for the quickest way to the safe harbor of the hero's house. Still sort of avoiding all the dangers lurking in the forest and so on. So very global, very sort of rich and immersive. We launched this globally during the premiere of the Eclipse movie. So, yeah.
And did you get the kind of lift you had hoped on launch? It seems very exciting.
Definitely. I mean, we got a huge amount of people playing it. We had almost 400,000 people within a very short time period. So we're extremely happy with that.
So how did you go from having no application to having an application that had to go from, let me say, non-car talk, 0 to 400,000 users overnight?
Well, that was a challenge. I mean, based on the previous experience we've had with the earlier Twilight movies, we knew that we would get a lot of attention and a huge amount of people visiting. So while we are running on one of the most flexible and scalable web platforms out there, Microsoft SharePoint Server, we knew that our infrastructure just wouldn't be able to cope with all those sort of interactive elements that we wanted to have in the game. We also had some previous experience working with major US studios like Disney, so we knew that the game mechanisms could change up until the very last minute, which they did. All in all, we needed a fully flexible, highly scalable, and absolutely secure platform for our game data. We were giving away a brand new car as a grand prize, so it had to be secure. So, I mean, we were sort of painfully realizing that there's no way that we can pull this off on our own. Having a long and strong relationship with Microsoft, we turned to you guys and asked for help. And you basically showed us the way to your magical box of tricks that you call Windows Azure. And I mean, 1 million visits later, with almost 400,000 people playing the game within a very short time frame, we can look back at a perfectly smooth running campaign and look forward to many future online activities on the Azure platform.
Did that cause any stress and strain between marketing and IT, or were we able to manage that? He says, not sure I should have just asked. How did that work out?
No, I think it's very important to recognize what we've been talking about, that our role in the IT organization here is to offer support for our business team. So we have an expression that there's no such thing as an IT project. There are only business projects that require a lot of IT help. Right? And so, but it's really important that that's our priority, and I think David has made the right choice. There wouldn't have been a lot of value for us as a car company standing up that sort of capability, right? We can just go ahead and get it and immediately be effective and support the business need of getting out there in front of the people and launching this new vehicle that hopefully people are excited to see. We think all of the new products are outstanding, and we want people to be able to experience them immediately. We don't want to wait on a slow IT organization, for instance. Right. So I think we very much think it's the right thing to do.
Super. Eva-Karin, what's a hotel chain doing with the cloud?
Well, you could wonder, really. Our business is about delivering customer experience and delivering good customer experience. So the business needs access to good and relevant technology that does not require a lot of time and effort from the staff. At the same time, Elite is a quickly expanding business. We're adding hotels and venues every year. We're also developing our product. So we need flexibility. Flexibility in the sense that we have solutions that are scalable and that can add functionality as we need it. So when we were going to change our whole IT infrastructure from A to Z, it was my decision to go for the cloud because I felt it presented our best possibility.
Great. And what kinds of gains have you seen as you've started down that path for Elite?
Well, one obvious gain is that, in this expanding business, we've been able to keep a very tight grip on our staff, on the number of staff. They're able to deliver service. And since the solutions are cost efficient, it's been proving itself all the way along.
And do you see a role for additional cloud services, Intune, I don't know, in your organization? It sounds like you're happy with the first steps and might take some more?
Well, definitely. The thing is, we have to implement what we put on the table right now. We'll be finished doing that by December. And then the next step is really to monitor what you offer together with our partner and see, if there's a fit, we'll go for it.
Super. I think all of you should get something of a sense. These are leading edge companies, Volvo and Elite, but they're embracing, so far looks like successfully, the cloud. And certainly I hope from some of their comments and thoughts you get a little bit of a sense, and makes you feel a little bit more comfortable that we're beyond the bleeding edge and we're just on the leading edge.
Right.
Thanks to all three of our panelists very much.
Thanks, Steve.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. This is it's a great time. I'm not sure right now you'll be any better able to answer the question, what is the cloud, than when you walked in here. But the cloud is a new set of opportunities. It's a new set of applications. It's a new application development model. It's a new application deployment model. It's an opportunity to do more and more exciting and more interesting things with less. It's a chance to equip people who wouldn't have access to IT services to have access to IT services. It's a chance to reach customers and partners as well as employees. And I think, if you take it as a whole and you say, is the platform that all of us as participants in the IT industry, is the platform expanding in important ways? The answer is yes. Whether it's the work companies like us are doing every day. Oh, we've got to move Windows and the PC along. Ooh, there's new form factor. Got to go attack that. What does it mean to have, smaller and larger and wall-size screens and slates and phones? All of these things fit now in a context brought to us by the cloud, in which we get to think about the world in a different place. We don't just see the world, we learn about the world. We contribute back in our understanding of the world by the pictures we take, the applications that we build, etc. It is a pretty exciting time as long as we make these infrastructural advances. If we continue to build the IT industry locked inside of corporate data centers and locked inside of individual PCs and other devices, the world's not going to move as fast. On the other hand, if we don't do the appropriate job respecting security and privacy, we run into a new set of obstacles. But now is the time to embrace that change and to benefit from that change. Our company, we've built these incredible data centers so that we can run our cloud services. Just this last year, we completed a new $500 million data center complex in Dublin, from which we will provide high quality support to our customers throughout Western Europe. But it's big investment, there's big things happening, and it creates new opportunities for all of us. I encourage you to jump in. The water is warm. As you heard from Elite and Volvo, they didn't tell you about when the water gets too hot, but we're still at the beginning of this sequence. But certainly, whether it's with what we're doing around Windows and Internet Explorer, our new line of phones, Office and our business productivity services, or Windows, Azure, and SQL Azure, our cloud platform services, we see a lot of opportunities to serve you. We really want to do our best, and we'd love you to jump in and start a pilot. My email address, if I can be helpful, is steveb@microsoft.com. Feel free to ping me. But on top of that, the many, many people working for Microsoft here in Sweden would love also to have an opportunity to serve. Thanks again. Thanks for your time today. And thanks again for all your business. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Steve. Questions?